Hello guys, welcome back. This is RandoGEEK. Alright, so in this video we're going to talk about AT&T's 5G performance and how it's been lagging behind the other two big carriers, T-Mobile and Verizon. So as we know, last week there were reports that came out regarding T-Mobile's 5G performance as well as Verizon's. According to the reports, Verizon overall has won the most awards for the performance of the network. So the overall satisfaction has gone to Verizon at the moment. T-Mobile has won largely in download speeds and overall availability. But I guess when we broke it down, we looked at the articles, we saw that even though T-Mobile has been winning in certain areas, the quality seems to be more in favor of Verizon at the moment. We always say these things can change because they can. They're all working hard to build a strong network, and a matter of a week or two, some deployments can come out and change results. So we always have to be, we always want to say for now, because unless they bowed out of the game, we don't know what will happen in a week or two if they decide to do some deployments and results have been updated and testing has been redone. So as of now, Verizon seems to be leading in overall quality of 5G, but T-Mobile is still the largest 5G network and the best for download right now. So AT&T is not really a part of this race anymore, at least not according to this article and according to many articles, test results, and even news updates from the carrier itself. They've been focused more on fiber at this time, simply because that is where they can capitalize. See, the problem with AT&T's 5G network is it's been very costly, and they have not been successful in getting it to where they need it fast enough. And it's been draining them financially. This is coupled with other poor business decisions inside the company and products and services as well. They've made some weak decisions with cable. They've made some weak decisions with internal staffing and whatnot, marketing. So this has led them to bleed out a bit financially. So fiber seems to be the way that they feel they can recapitalize and gain some strength back into a profitable, put themselves back into a profitable margin. Because right now they're simply just losing. Their stock is tumbling down. Investors are no longer interested in the company itself. They feel there's not much value. So that's a problem for a company like AT&T, because their reputation in an investor's eye is everything. Because if people don't value the company and they don't see a reason to invest, they lose money. And that's what's happening. So AT&T has said, well, fiber seems to be something people are interested in. We're doing that very well. It's been successful. So they've pumped millions upon millions into that, hoping to grow out the fiber. Now, I've read in articles that AT&T has not given up on wireless, but they are simply pausing it a bit. They haven't come out to say we're pausing it, but they've pretty much come out to say that we're focused on fiber. That's our overall mission right now. Once we get that going and we become a profitable company again, we pay off our debts and we're able to move forward financially, we will return to fiber. Wireless. And I've been supportive with that mission because I feel like that, the build outs do cost money. So I understand that. Now, my only hope is that when they do return, that they do it right. See, what a lot of us don't realize is AT&T has been doing this 5G build out since 2018. It appears that they've been the first company to start 5G build outs. Now, we know that what they were doing was merely LTE plus. Okay, low band, nothing big. Okay, they've been guilty of immediately trying to sell 5G before it was anything special. Okay, it was a marketing scheme with AT&T. I've seen it on a number of devices. They've had the icon on there, and they were trying to beat everybody before it got hot. They knew T-Mobile was going to be working on it, and they wanted to beat them, and they wanted to steal all the customers and get all the profits. So they were lying by saying 5G was ready. Come over, we have the first 5G, fastest 5G network. That was not the case. So 2018 is when they started. Here we are in 2023, and it looks like the first company to talk about 5G is the first company to fall pretty much out of it, out of the top three. Okay, because they haven't done anything new with their 5G network to win any results, should I say. Now, that's not to say it doesn't work good. That's not to say that AT&T isn't a super reliable company. In fact, many still say that they don't even care about 5G, that they're with AT&T simply because their LTE network is amazing. And they don't even, they buy a new iPhone, they turn 5G off, and they just use LTE. They love it so much from AT&T that they're not going anywhere. And keep in mind, AT&T's plans are not the cheapest out of the three, right? You're not getting the cheapest plans. You're staying with them because you like the quality of the network. And I've always said AT&T is a very, if not the most, if it's not the most reliable, it's certainly very close to being. I think overall, you probably get the most amount of evenly distributed spectrum with AT&T. It pretty much just works everywhere. Now, I'm not talking about the fastest speeds. I'm talking about reliable network. Calls will be made, internet will be connected. You're not getting super high millimeter wave speeds. A lot of the times, I've noticed with AT&T that they pull back a little bit on it. I feel like they on purposely pull back on those speed tests anyway, that they don't give you the full juice. I feel like they are capable of doing more, but it's kind of like they don't want to unleash it. I don't know. It's a very strange thing when testing AT&T's network. I feel that they're so much more capable of what they're offering right now. So, but anyhow, that's the thing with AT&T right now. That's pretty much the situation they're in. And let's quickly go over this article, which is what leads to this discussion. So, as we know, like I said last week, two test results, Verizon and T-Mobile, came out, and now basically AT&T was nowhere to be found. So OpenSignal published its latest 5G experience findings this week, detailing when it comes to U.S. carriers. You should probably be with either Verizon or T-Mobile, according to this article, because they're saying AT&T continues to lag behind all notable categories. Looking over the data, there is not one category AT&T took home the gold. In fact, diving deeper into the state-by-state data, AT&T had 0 outright wins, but it did have 12 joint wins. To put that number into context, Verizon had a total of 173 outright wins and 59 joint wins, while T-Mobile came in with 63 outright wins and 52 joint wins. So those were based on the numbers alone. The categories tested and subsequently awarded are 5G video experience, 5G live video experience, 5G games experience, 5G voice app experience, general availability, as well as both 5G download and upload speeds. And then there's a graphic below, which we're going to look at. This is the 5G Experience Awards, and we can see, what T-Mobile took home. They took home 5G download speeds and overall 5G availability. Verizon took home the majority of the awards in this segment, but AT&T didn't have anything. So, when it comes to plain old speed, they're saying T-Mobile should be your carrier of choice, as long as you live in an area that is well covered. And this is something I've gone on record to say. T-Mobile is an amazing network, but there are still some areas of network lag. Like, it's just not there, The network is not evenly distributed, and that's something that T-Mobile needs to work on. They have said that they're working on that. Not fast enough, in my opinion, but if they did work on that, if they spread the coverage out more, if they were able to deploy more, they have so much spectrum. This should be much easier for them at this point. But either way, if they did that, I think T-Mobile would be a lot better overall. And I think they would be even bigger than they are now. Verizon, a lot more evenly distributed service-wise, better quality overall. But, like I said, don't sleep on T-Mobile. So for the T-Mobile fans, don't sleep on them. Don't be upset with them. Improvements can be made. They can only get better if that's their mission, right? AT&T now, we have to hope that they will work on this problem that they have here, because it's not really going to, in my opinion, cause the network to go down the drain. I think many will still use AT&T because it's such a reliable service. Now, they're not winning awards for the best speed, but the quality of the network is very much there. And awards will tell you that when you base it on overall reliability, they do take the lead. In fact, AT&T has taken the lead for that. I believe this year and last year. In my previous video, I did a comparison of 2022's version of these tests to 2023, and AT&T both times won most reliable network. 100%. It's a very reliable network. It's evenly distributed. They've been around for years. They've been doing this a lifetime. So if a little more focus was put into the overall 5G network, perhaps they could, advance in that area. But it's expensive for them, and they're struggling. To be honest, quite frankly, they're struggling. They're not able to pull it off, and the other two carriers are just doing much better at it. In the testing period, OpenSignal did find that Verizon's 5G upload speeds to be slightly faster than T-Mobile's. So that's why we said they came ahead. They finally beat T-Mobile in upload. It took a while. But, this article argues that who cares, because it's upload speeds. Upload speeds are extremely important in today's world. Streaming is more important than downloading. Not many people download like they used to. If you download apps, 90% of the time you can do that on your Wi-Fi at home. You're not downloading apps all day long. You are, however, streaming all day long. YouTube, music, these are the things that matter the most. So I disagree with that statement there where they say it doesn't really matter. No, it does. Upload does matter. Now, I'm not saying that, that's going to punish T-Mobile. No, because T-Mobile, I'm sure, will see these results if they haven't already, and they'll start working on that because they want to be the best. Now, we'll see. We'll see if they can do it. But I'm sure that they'll be working on it. That's for sure. They don't want to lose any awards if they can help it. So obviously there's a lot of numbers and data to go over in these reports. So it says if you're in the market for a new carrier, highly recommend look it over. And that's what I always say. It's market specific. You're the true test. You're the final test. Okay? What works for you may not work for me, may not work for somebody else, and that's the true test. These reports can tell you, Verizon works excellent in New York or California or Florida. But then you may live in an area in one of those states that are actually not that good. Now you've went out, you didn't do any research, you got a plan, and now you're like, I have bad service. This is not specific statewide, right? There's certain areas and states, certain cities and states that just don't get that good of coverage. You may be in a zone that's just not fully covered. So always do your research, find out what works for you, and that's the choice that you need to make. But overall, I'd like to know your guys' opinion on where AT&T stands. Do you think AT&T will be making a return to their 5G deployments anytime soon? I mean, they're still doing some. So we're not, like I said, they're not done. They're not throwing in the bag. However, they are not as focused on wireless deployments. They're more focused on fiber right now. And it's simply a matter of capital. It's cash flow. They've said it in articles. They have a lot of debt they need to clear out. Any money that they have, they're investing in fiber because they need to grow. They need to pay off their debt. They need to be ahead of the game. The wireless deployments are not cheap. It's getting very expensive for them to do. So they need other ways to make income. And that's the problem with all these carriers. They're all suffering. Verizon is feeling it. T-Mobile's feeling it too. They won't talk about it, but they are. And that's why they're getting involved with home internet and fixed wireless access, because they need to raise money. The wireless side is not enough, especially when many are going to MVNOs because they don't want to pay. They don't want to pay these MVO prices. They just don't. A lot of people don't care anymore about what service they're getting as long as it works. They don't care who the carrier is. A lot of people don't care about customer service or stores. They just want a reliable carrier and they want to pay as little as possible for it. And that hurts large companies when you do that. When you go around through the back entrance, it hurts these big companies. And that's what's happening with cable. That's why cable is taking a dive, because everyone's cutting the cord. And I just dropped an article about a video about how they're cutting the cord 2.0 on wireless as well. Yes, because people don't want to pay anymore. It's too expensive. And it hurts a large company like AT&T when you do that. Now, that's technically you could say that's their problem. It is. Of course it is. But if that's your carrier and you want to see the network advance, it's going to be harder if they're not making enough money, especially when they're probably not going over the finances correctly. There's a lot of money that gets overlooked, overspent, and technically that's what, happens to a company, overspending, the blueprint is not followed, or there is no real blueprint and they're just doing whatever they think is trendy. So that's another thing that can really sabotage a company. So, all right, guys, much longer than I anticipated, but I hope you do find the conversation entertaining, useful in some way, interesting, because I do think that AT&T is an amazing network, and I think they have a lot of potential. I'm not going to lie, they've had plenty of time to work on this network to get better, and they kind of fell behind. But a lot of bad decisions were made. You can say it's management. Maybe it's time for a new CEO. Maybe it's time for a new marketing team. Maybe it's time for all those things. Maybe it's time for them to take the network a little more serious and just, lying to customers and saying we have the best 5G network, or, trying to get it out so fast that you're not really doing a good job. What's the point? If you're rushing it and nobody likes it, or it's not good quality, you're just wasting money at that point. And customers specifically don't like being lied to. You don't want to be told you have 5G and then you're not getting good service. Okay. It doesn't work anywhere. So, or you're getting, 100 down and 20 up, when on T-Mobile you could be getting 500 down, 200 up, and pay less, and works like 90% of where you're going. So that's the thing. That's the thing that a company like AT&T realizes, like, you need to put focus into the network. You should know better. You've been doing this for years, so we'll leave it at that. All right, guys. Link for the article will be down below in the description. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Turn on your notification bell so you guys get notified when I drop a new video. As always, I want to thank you for stopping by and watching. Much appreciated, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.